I'm going to be doing a little investigation today that I've been really curious on. I'm going to go meet with a doctor. I'm standing right now behind a CVS. I'm going to go meet with a specific doctor that apparently has had issues before, had his license suspended on a couple of different occasions. But the question that we come up with in everything today is so many individuals that move to heroin or other illicit drugs are currently starting with prescription medications, and it's kind of I think it's a huge epidemic today, or the start of the major heroin epidemic that we're seeing. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to kind of play out different symptoms. I'm not going to drug seek, I'm not going to ask for drugs. But I am going to come in with anxiety disorders and insomnia, and I have back pain and things of this nature, and to see how easy it is for me to get prescribed certain things. And I wanted to also educate everybody on the state of California, and I'm sure every state has this to a certain degree, is that you can look up licenses from individuals, from doctors. You can go on to the California Medical Board of California website, and you can find out if their license is active, if it's suspended, if it's been suspended, any kind of reports that have been done through the medical board. And I had pulled up one that was specific to the doctor that I'm going to see today. Apparently in 2007 he had a nervous breakdown. He was taking Seroquel. One of the suspensions was a result of his psychiatrist moving out of state, so he started taking his own sample Seroquel. And it kind of brings up the debate today on what we look at with doctors. How safe are doctors? It's the same kind of concept. If a police officer has a nervous breakdown and they're carrying a gun, we may want to remove them from the police force, and do we do that same kind of thing with doctors, And as I was kind of reading through this guy's information, there's a lot of things that are very concerning about this individual, and but he still does have an active license. And so, like I said, I'm going to go see him today. I'm going to see what I can come out with. I'm a huge fan of education and self-responsibility. The more that we can educate the public on what's going on and how to find information about doctors or different individuals before you go see them might be a good thing. So stay posted here. We're going to cut this right now, and then we will come back after I go have my appointment, and I'll let you guys know how everything went, and we'll kind of follow up on this. Okay, I'm here at the office. I'm getting ready to go in. All right. Hey everybody, so I'm back, and I had an opportunity to meet with the doctor. I don't want to mention the doctor's name because I don't want people to identify this as a witch hunt. So I went and I had an opportunity to meet with this doctor, and I told him that I had anxiety and wasn't able to focus very well, and a lot of the things that people can play out. If we're talking about kids can learn about what the symptoms are, and they can utilize those symptoms to get the things that they want. So I wanted to explain to you what went down and what really concerned me about this individual doctor. I don't think this is something individual to this doctor. I think this is way bigger than one individual, and it brings us back to the epidemic that's happening in this country, in terms of the kids that are able to get on certain medications. They take those for a while, and then they go to heroin or something bigger and something better, in their mind. So I wanted to explain how all this played out, and this is really interesting. So the doctor explained how the brain works and how the neurotransmitters are not firing. They're going back this way, and then a little bit are going this way, and he kind of explained it in a very generalized manner that was honestly very difficult to understand. So I ended up getting Prestique. Prestique is a SNRI, serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor, so it's classified as a stimulating antidepressant. What concerned me about the doctor, and again, I think this is much bigger than we think, was the doctor tells me that he's going to put me on Prestique. He writes this note that is completely unreadable. No idea what that says. It's a bunch of scribble. And then he goes and he opens up his cabinet, which is a big cabinet. He opens it up and it is completely full of medications, drugs. He's got bottles. I have no idea what was in there. I wish I could have gotten up and actually had an opportunity to look. So if you read on this thing, it says, read enclosed medication guide for patients. He pulls this sample out and he tears out all of the instructions. So I actually do not have this on there. And then he goes and he pulls out 2 of these medications. He cuts them and then he puts them into a bindle. Now, for a drug addict, this is very common, right? And this is something that a lot of meth addicts will see. And I'm actually going to open this up and tell me, for any of you meth addicts out there, if this looks very similar to what you would find. We open this thing up and we have Prestique. It looks like chunks of meth, kind of, which I thought was very weird. This was really a awkward thing to do, and to put it in a bindle. I'm actually very concerned to even drive with this, because if I get pulled over, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to get a ticket for possession of Prestique, which may originally be written as prescription of meth or something else. Who knows? Whatever the cops define it as, because this is not a prescription, so it really doesn't define it. So this was actually really good. The thing about it is I met with the doctor. The doctor basically said that we're going to start with this and then come back next week and we could treat your ADHD. ADHD medications could be Adderall or something of that nature. I played my sleep problem a little bit, so probably later I could even get more medication, maybe some Seroquel, some things that will help me, sleep and things like that. So I wanted to do this thing. This was not really designed as a witch hunt. This was to show the concern that we have with kids potentially going and being able to go to doctors, get medications or whatever it is, and ultimately, switch to something bigger and better because they're, taking medications. The doctor that I met with was pretty much all about medications. He's a family doctor, is really what he's defined as, but he does primarily psychiatry type work. His office has a couch, chair. There's nothing in there in terms of meeting with anybody and doing any kind of physical or anything of that nature. Strictly psychiatric type work, which again, typically that would be a psychiatrist, I'd think. That would focus a little bit more on that kind of stuff, even though I know nothing that this guy is doing is illegal. Although I do question this type of behavior, cutting things up and putting them in bindles, and then having a cabinet that's just full of medications and drugs that he can basically hand out at will, which look like a bunch of samples. Again, I wasn't able to look in it, but there were a lot of bottles that looked like medications also. So I'm not really sure on that, but I do want to put that out there. But this does prove, I think, my point and really what I'm trying to do here. And I want to thank everybody for watching and paying attention to this. I hope this is very educational, because that was my whole point in this, was to provide some kind of education regarding this, and maybe to get that out there. And again, look up your doctors. This doctor is on probation or has been on probation. All of the information is in the medical board website on this doctor, which I was able to find going in. And so thank you guys for watching, and we will see you soon. We'll be doing other things that hopefully is very educational for people also.